We are down to the NBA's Final Four, the conference finals. In the East, the defending world champions have survived 2 long series. They were taken to the 5-game limit before disposing of the Hawks in round 1, riding the backcourt brilliance of Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. Then came a 6-game battle with Boston. After sitting out games 2 and 4, Isaiah took control in game 6 as the Pistons took the series 4-2 and moved to the conference finals against Chicago. The Bulls had made it look easy in the first 2 rounds. Michael Jordan sparking Chicago to a sweep of the Knicks as Michael moved to his accustomed spot atop the scoring list in the playoffs. Next, a 4-1 decision over the Sixers. The Bulls remained unbeaten at home in the postseason as they opened their series with the Pistons Sunday. Michael scored only 22, but with help from his supporting cast, Chicago took Game 1. Game 2 is just ahead on TNT. Out west, the Portland Trail Blazers, owners of the NBA's best regular season record, struggled in the opening round before knocking out the Sonics in the full 5 games. And then it was on to a best-of-7 with Utah, Portland needing just 5 to end the Jazz postseason run and set up a showdown with the Lakers. LA had the magic touch in what was supposed to be a challenging opening round series with Houston. The Rockets bowed out to Magic and his mates in 3 straight. Golden State was next, and after splitting the first 2 games at the Forum, the Lakers took the next 3. They were 3-0 on the road as they opened the Blazers series in Portland. The Blazers were unbeaten at home in the playoffs. LA rallied from 12 down at the start of the 4th and stole the home court advantage. Later tonight, Magic and the Lakers square off against Terry Porter and the Blazers. But first, the Bulls and Pistons toe-to-toe on TNT. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to TNT's continuing coverage of the NBA playoffs on TNT. Ernie Johnson in Atlanta, and making yet another visit to our studio is Dick Versace. We look at Game 1 of this doubleheader. If you're Chuck Daly, how you feeling down 1-0 to the Bulls?
We had dinner last night, a quiet dinner in Chicago, in a little hideaway. I'm surprised. He's calm. He feels that even if they go back to Detroit 0-2, that he still feels they are where they should be, because he feels this is a terrific matchup, and that Chicago is a 61-win team. They should hold serve. And if they go back 0-2, they don't plan on doing it, but if they do, he's not worried.
Now, presumably, you have not dined with Rick Adelman at this point, but if you are Rick Adelman, how you feel?
Wait, what, am I a bi-coastal guy here or what? I mean, give me a break.
It's been said.
Baby, nice, great, you know. We do lunch sometime.
Now, how about Rick? What's the deal with the Blazers?
Well, I'm a little upset, and I'm going to get it out, okay? I don't like all this criticism about his substitution pattern. He made the substitution, played the big backcourt of Ainge and Waller Davis. Waller Davis could have come off the bench and hit 5 jumpers. If that happened, all right, he looked like a star.
And that's the way coaching goes, as you know.
Yeah.
Now, as you know by now, folks, the Charlotte Hornets came out #1 in the NBA's draft lottery Sunday. What we don't know is what the Hornets will do with the top pick next month. Later tonight, Craig Sager reports from Charlotte on what direction the club might take with that first choice. Dick Versace and I will be back at the half. But straight ahead, Game 2 of the Pistons-Bulls series live from Chicago Stadium on TNT.
The Chicago Bulls have been eliminated by the Detroit Pistons the last 3 years in the Eastern Conference Finals, but this year Chicago is 1 step up on Detroit. They're at their best when their backs against the wall. Tonight, Game 2 of the Eastern Finals with Detroit and Chicago. Hello, everybody. I'm Ron Thuman. Game 1 Sunday afternoon was won by the Chicago Bulls 94-83. There was the obvious fatigue factor for Detroit in that game, having played Friday night, only 1 day of preparation. My broadcast partner, Hubie Brown. Hubie, the obvious statistic is the shooting percentage for the Detroit Pistons, but it goes a lot deeper than that.
Well, Detroit could never establish any type of an inside game, either off the dribble or a low post factor with their big men. James Edwards in early foul trouble, you know, definitely hurt their chances. We look at the shooting percentage, we see, okay, big discrepancy. The fact that Chicago shot 37 foul shots, Detroit only 15, backs that up. The rebounding, totally dominated by Chicago. But give Chicago credit. Any time that they did get down inside, they would take the ball away with steals and shot blocking. And that means that Chicago's working hard.
Well, Detroit starters accounted for only 37 points as they shot 32% from the field. Only 1 starter in double figures. Now for Chicago, Michael Jordan led them with 22 points an off night, but that brings us up to a matchup. Jordan against Joe Dumars. Detroit needs Dumars more.
Well, the big matchup there is naturally they're guarding one another. Joe Dumars averaged 22 points a game for you in the playoffs, but as you look at the 9 points, See, he did not get any shot attempts. Only 10 attempts and never got to the line. Michael Jordan had a normal night, shot attempts and foul tries. Now, Chuck Daly has put in a few additional sets to free Dumars in the early going tonight, and it should be interesting to see if he can shed Michael Jordan.
And speaking of Michael Jordan, he has been named the Edge MVP of the NBA, and he is receiving that award tonight. Here's Chicago Stadium Public Address announcer Ray Clay with the presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please direct your attention to center court, where NBA Commissioner David Stern will present the 1991 Edge NBA Most Valuable Player of the Year Award.
Michael, I know that millions of basketball fans around the world, not to mention 18,000 here and a few million in Chicago, join me in congratulating you on a great season and your second MVP award. I'd like to ask Chuck Goldthwait, Vice President of SC Johnson Company, to help me make the presentation.
Chicago Bulls fans everywhere know this year's Most Valuable Player Award has an heir apparent. This heir led the scoring in the NBA for the 5th consecutive time, and led your very own Chicago Bulls to the best record they've ever had in their franchise history. On behalf of SC Johnson Wax, makers of Edge Shave Gel, America's #1 shaving preparation, it's my pleasure to present the 1991 Edge Most Valuable Player Award to Michael Jordan. Congratulations, Michael, and thank you, Commissioner Stern, Chuck Goldthwait, and Ed Shave Gel.
Coming up, the lineups and the tip-off. The Bulls and the Pistons from Chicago Stadium. Coming up next on TNT. Chicago Stadium, where the Bulls have won 14 consecutive playoff games dating back to June 2nd, 1989. Let's take a look at tonight's Jeep Eagles starting lineup. First of all, for the Detroit Pistons, we see Lambier, Rodman, Edwards, Thomas, and Dumars, and there are some interesting matchups between these two.
Well, naturally, the Dumars-Jordan we covered at the top, but Lambier-Pippen. Pippen will play Lambier, even though he's out on the outside. They feel that Pippen cuts down Lambier's shot opportunities, will not give him the long jump shot. Plus, Pippen on any misses will be out in the open floor, leading Chicago's transition game.
Speaking of Chicago, Cartwright will be at the center position. Chuck Daly says he has been one of the keys for the Chicago Bulls in the playoffs and in Game 1. And we are just about set. A crowd of over 18,000 on hand at Chicago Stadium, the loudest arena in the NBA, is what they tell us. And the introductions, you would know why when they introduced the Chicago Bulls. Now, the Detroit Pistons, Hubie, have been standing around a long time listening to the MVP. They've listened to the introductions. What does this do for Chuck Daly and company?
No, they're all pumped up. Everybody's fine. It really wasn't that long of a period of time in regards to that they would lose the sweat that they gained in the warm-up situation. Two coaches, two of the solid and best half-court defensive teams that we have in the NBA. When you earn something out of your half-court sets, that means that your guys are really opening up people because of solid screens.
We saw the officials this evening, and those men will have their hands full tonight. We are underway from Chicago Stadium.
Now with Detroit, very methodical. They like to get James Edwards going early.
Remember in game one, Detroit fell behind by 12 early on as Dumars hits the first shot.
Now, if Michael Jordan did not trail Dumars that time, it would have been a two-man game, Dumars and James Edwards.
We saw in the open, Dumars only 9 points in game one. Cartwright in the middle. This time comes up a little short. Goes in hard to Lambier, and that'll be an offensive foul on Cartwright.
Good call that time. This is an interesting matchup. Edwards and Cartwright. Detroit needs Edwards to score. Chicago needs Cartwright out on the floor for the rebounding, and also because he does such an excellent job at keeping people off of their defensive board.
Pistons were talking today. They need a little more hate factor coming into the game as Dumars' high archer will come down, and Pippen, you try to take him off the dribble.
Now this is the test right here. Scottie Pippen in the open floor. Can Detroit get back quickly? Dennis Rodman will always be giving him 5 to 20 feet. He must catch up to him, stop the dribble, and force them back into their half-court offense.
Coming over on the bus, the Detroit players were telling us they were passing around an article where Michael Jordan said Detroit plays dirty as Thomas takes it inside for two, and that's a good sign for Chuck Daly.
That's a big sign. Anytime that Isaiah can go down in there and then elevate, he says that he feels he can get into the paint. The problem is I do not think that I can get the lift-off to complete the play.
Jordan continuing his shooting woes. Shooting just above 40% for the playoffs.
And Detroit likes to get James Edwards going early.
Rodman over the back of Grant will be whistled for his first personal foul.
Grant's in for a long night. Anytime that you have Rodman as your assignment, you know that he's going to be over the offensive boards. He's averaging over 4 a game in the playoffs, just like he did during the season in leading the league in offensive rebounding.
Chicago 0 of 3 from the floor. Shot 50% in game one for the playoffs. They're shooting at even 50%.
Plenty of time here, 6 seconds.
Jordan's shot comes up short. He has an 0 for going, 0 for 2. Here comes Thomas on the break.
Were we worried about Zeke elevating?
What a pass inside. Rodman can't hold on to it. He's showing a lot more mobility than he did in practice this morning. Chuck Daly, 5 straight 50-win seasons. Led the Pistons. Jordan has to dish off Paxson for 2.
Chicago has outstanding spacing on the opposite side of where the action is. Now we will see full court pressing on and off by Chicago. They give you the quick trap right there.
Nobody really came to help Isaiah. Paxson again. Pippen.
Chicago's transition game is so outstanding because you have Jordan and Pippen in the middle of the floor with the ball, and then they will stop on a dime and kick the ball wide to either Paxson or Hodges, his substitute, spotting up for a 2 or a 3. Very difficult to cover.
Big game for Detroit. They don't want to go down 2-0 in this series. Only 7 teams have come back from 2-0 deficits, and game 2s are so much different than game 1, Huey. Shot clock goes off. The ball will belong to the Bulls, and there's talking going on. Third Detroit turnover already.
Detroit just outstanding during the course of the playoffs. They're only averaging 10 turnovers, and that's steering quite a few ball games.
Grant over Edwards. Doesn't get it. Gets his own follow.
I'll tell you, Cartwright was terrific. He not only shot the shot, he knew that he was going to miss. He came right up over Edwards' back for that tap.
6 straight points for Chicago as Joe Dumars answers with his 4th of the ball game. We are tied at 6. 8:20 left in the first.
Good sign for Detroit. Joe is being very aggressive from the offensive end. That will keep Jordan busy at both ends.
Chicago has won only one playoff series versus Detroit back in 1974. That was in the first round. Shot clock at 3. Pippen has to launch it up, and he's got it.
This series has quite a few outstanding three-point shooters. Chicago, one of the best teams in the league. They shoot at about 35% on threes. That's very, very good in this league.
Good defense by Chicago. Edwards has it stripped away. 3-on-2. Rodman hustles back, but the ball still belongs to the Bulls with 20 on the shot clock.
That time, Rodman had a long way to come. Now just watch this. See, once Pippen gets the ball out on the wing, Rodman has got to honor the fact that he can drive. But Pippen will launch the long jump shots. He's an excellent three-point shooter.
Dumars on Jordan.
That's a clear out. Nice. Even though you can get Michael and you stop him, once he elevates, he has incredible vision and will always deliver the pass to someone who has a better shot than him.
Chicago's 10-2 run has given them a 10-6 lead. Thomas from outside.
Interesting defense that time. Chicago switching on the pick and roll, putting Pippen on Isaiah and Paxson on Lambier at the top of the circle.
Isaiah with only 11 points, but he was the only starter in double figures Sunday afternoon. He was 3 of 9. He already has 4. 6 on the shot clock. Pippen lets it go. Rodman with the rebound, pulls it away from Grant.
Big thing right now, the Detroit Pistons are, they're not really smooth yet. Here's the switch. Now, you see, Edwards has got, if they're going to do that, you've got to go right away down inside.
Jordan thought he got all ball, but he got a piece of Joe Dumars. He's picked the first personal foul. 6:28 left in the first, and there's a timeout. Bulls by 2.
Now, after foul shots, we're going to see Scottie Pippen is a freelance double-team man. Now, remember, this is his man, Bill Lambier. So, Detroit will send Lambier long, hoping to take advantage once they get the ball inbounds. Now, you're going to see it now. See, they release Pippen, and he'll come, and he'll help out on his trap. Now, that forced the turnover, and at the other end of the floor, Chicago scores. Now, what we're saying now, if you're Detroit, what you're hoping is that you can beat that trap, get the ball up the floor, because Lambier is spotting up in the opposite corner away from Pippen. And that's a long run for Scottie during the course of an evening.
Look at Bill Lambier, who said after the game on Sunday, went in the locker room, was very boisterous. Said if he would have just played anything, they would have won the ball game. Joe Dumars, his first free throw. He now has
but
5.
to back Lambier up there, Joe Dumars, a terrific series in '89. Now, to back Lambier up, he only played 17 minutes because he has a problem with his knee. And sure, if he would have been in there, they probably would have kept him on the floor a lot more. Now we're seeing the Detroit press. It's a 2-2-1. Once you get it past half court, they'll match up and play man-to-man. So we will have pressing at both ends of the floor after foul shots.
Talk about big pick and rolls. That'll be the key to this game, too. Cartwright gets it inside to Pippen. That was a good catch, better than it was a pass.
Yes, it was. That was a great catch because Rodman was between Pippen and that ball. That was a beautiful catch in traffic.
Chicago now has 10 points from the front court, only 2 from the back court. Just the opposite for Chicago. Thomas's shot swatted away by Cartwright.
Detroit's attacking, but Chicago doing an excellent job. This is the guy that they've got to get off, Paxson. He's been struggling in the playoffs. He's only shooting 41%. Now, we're talking about a guy who, during the season, shot 57% in two-point opportunities.
And he's been getting his shots. It's not that he's not getting the good shots. Edwards in the lane, doesn't get it.
The key to that play, Michael Jordan coming across. Almost blocked that. Look at it.
Now you've got the Chicago Stadium crowd into it, and that is what visiting teams try to avoid.
When that ball goes down inside for Detroit, Michael Jordan will leave his man and come flying once you elevate and turn for that shot.
Chicago on a 6-0 run. They've opened up a 6-point lead with 5:06. left to be played in the first quarter. If you're Chuck Daly, you saw this happen on Sunday. You dig yourself into a deep hole. What is he telling his troops right now? They're obviously not going to be affected by the crowd. They're a veteran team.
You can see in the early going, they are going down in there. They're trying to establish the power game with Edwards, and also Isaiah has been challenging. But they feel that they are getting bumped, and they are not getting the early calls. So there has been some exasperation, like right here. Watch the head fake. Cartwright over the top. Great block that time by Cartwright, but he did get Isaiah right on the wrist. Now, there is Isaiah's man up the floor. Paxson wide open, wide.
Dumars over Jordan, and the rainbow comes down into the net.
See, if Joe can continue to establish a perimeter game, he'll keep Michael at home more, and Michael cannot be the designated double-team man.
That was Cartwright's first block of the playoffs, by the way. We have our first illegal defense call.
Isaiah's stunned. The call is on Isaiah. His man, Paxson, was above the three-point shooting line. Isaiah must be above the foul line. Isaiah rotated down inside. He cannot believe that the call was on him.
Talk about trying to bring it inside for Detroit. Of course, Chicago outshot him in the free throw line, 37-15 in game one. Inside, Grant. It goes and the foul's called.
Give Grant a lot of credit. That was a strong move. But if Detroit is going to trap big man, Lambier to Edwards, now you're going to see this. Once that ball goes down inside, here it comes now. The play will go. Now they are going to put it down in. Two big men trap Grant. Well, you cannot allow him to split your 2 7-footers and then take you strong to the basket without going to the floor. You do not give him a possible three-point play.
Grant, who's 3 of 3 from the floor, tries to get his 7th point of the ball game, and he does just that. Watch the press now put on by Chicago as John Sally is checked in for Detroit. Edwards sits down.
Now the trap can come in the backcourt or at half court.
Sally, no points, 1 rebound in game 1 between these two. Lambier tries to set the pick. There it is.
Bad pass, but the idea is there. They have plenty of time, 5 seconds.
For 3, Dumars drains it.
Hey, Michael Jordan is looking at Joe and saying, Joe,
yeah,
you're knocking in some babies because I'm right in your face.
He is 4 or 5, and there's not much trash talking now.
Great play.
Good defense by Rodman.
See, that was a solid trap. He could not pass out of the trap.
Sally doesn't get it. Lambier tries to get the rebound. Can't come up with it. Paxson, he has a 3-on-3. Thomas almost pickpockets Jordan.
Difference between the two teams, an outstanding transition game by Chicago. See, Michael went right inside with Isaiah, wanted to post them up.
Jordan gives the ball up, and it ends up in Cartwright's hand. He takes advantage of it.
They're still hot from Sunday. They're still making all of their jump shots.
Now, this morning we saw a Detroit shoot-around. They changed some of their defensive schemes where they almost were giving up a lot of dangerous defensive scheme. Are they going to take more chances?
Well, we'll see as the game rolls on. But right now, Chicago has hit every single shot. Shooting 63%, 10 for 16.
Dumars trying to draw a little bit more rain on the rainbow. Doesn't get it. 3:05 left in the first. The Bulls lead it by 6.
See, Chuck Daly is concerned because he sees nothing in the paint right now. It's almost a carbon copy of Sunday.
Chicago has hit their last 5 field goal attempts. We are inside of 3 minutes from Chicago Stadium. Ron Doolin and Hubie Brown. Paxson lets it fly. The 3 won't go. Rodman with the board.
In the backcourt, you're Detroit. You must protect the basketball. That's a tough call. People are all upset on that, but thought they had Isaiah on an offensive foul on Paxson. Paxson was sliding over to take away the sideline on Isaiah. They're going to give you a replay. Well, we just can't see from that area. Paxson looks like he's definitely there. See, but if Paxson had the line, we could not tell from that angle. That should have been a charge.
6 left in the first.
We're going to show you that play again from a higher angle, and you're going to see that Paxson is definitely moving. It's an excellent call. See, and the replay that we gave you before, we could not tell whether Paxson had taken away the sideline by getting that left foot across the line. Then Isaiah would have been guilty of the charge. an excellent call.
Well, Chuck Daly told us today in Game 1, 2 guys were responsible for 19 field goals, the rest only 13, and that concerns him. How about tonight? Joe Dumars, we saw the numbers on him, and Isaiah Thomas, the only 2 Pistons to score thus far.
Well, you cannot give up on your inside game because you definitely have proven people down in there. Now, once you take out James Edwards and put in Sally, what you are saying is that if McGuire's not in there and Edwards is not in there, you really do not have a low post game unless you're going to post Lambier.
Michael Jordan's the only Bull starter not to score.
Nice play.
Dishes off to Lambier. The baseline jumper will go down. Sally, good position. Isaiah Thomas. Lambier kicks it out into the hands of Paxson.
That was Detroit's first offensive rebound.
Jordan for 2. He's in the books.
Pippen just hit Rodman right on the jaw. And he just really hit him. A good shot. Now, I would say that something happened before that. Now, Darryl Garrison was right on top of the play. Now, let's see what happens here. We have a technical foul call.
Double technical.
On Pippen. But he definitely pops a double technical. Okay, on Rodman and Pippen that time.
Take a look at it again.
Now, hopefully we have it right from the beginning. Now, here they are. They're walking to the foul line. There it is. Boom. And then he just pops them. So you can see that it was a give and take, but both guys hit the other guy. And the bad thing now is that they cannot lose their heads. Both guys are critical.
It's not a double technical now. It was a technical on Scottie Pippen. It was only one because they just changed it. They did reverse it. Okay. So Detroit has shot the technical.
Well, that's tough there for Pippen. He is the key guy. He leads the team in assists. He's your guy who distributes the ball on the fast break.
Vinnie Johnson into the lineup for Detroit. Chuck Daly says he gives more matchup problems to Chicago with Dumars and Johnson in the guard positions. Dumars. Oh, what a shot.
That was almost the way D. Brown shot that dunk that went through. He had it over his eyes. Joe had his arm over his eyes and shot a hook.
The crowd gave him a 10. 14 already for Dumars. Not bad considering he had 9 in game 1. Jordan for 2.
This is like the shootout at OK Corral. But both of them, Dumars and Jordan, right on top of one another. Here's your trap. Now they gave it right there on the score. One trap looking for the steal. Now they rotate back and play man-to-man.
Dumars has the last 10 Detroit points. Shot clock inside of 8. Oh, to John Sally inside.
Now that's what's been missing. But Detroit's still not smooth in their execution.
Chuck Daly says his team's a better nocturnal team. He likes them playing at night better than the afternoons. 1 and 8 in the afternoon games this year. Grant over Sally, doesn't get it. Cartwright knocks Lambier down, and Lambier gets a present.
See, Sally's in there because of his defense and the threat of the shot clock. Chuck countered the fact that Grant was doing a job early, and he has Sally in there to harass him. But what it does, though, it takes away from your low inside game.
Cartwright moves out on Dumars. Somebody's open as Dumars throws up the prayer. It's not going to be answered. Ball belongs to the Bulls.
That was a very bad shot thrown up there by Joe. They even could have had Joe on a carry that time. He let it rest on his hip and in his hand too long a period of time.
Greg Hodges checks into the lineup for Chicago. Cartwright will take a seat. So Chicago going with the small lineup with Paxson and Hodges along with Pippen, Grant, and Jordan.
Now, this puts a lot of pressure on you. They're doing this now for the last shot. But Detroit will have at least 7 seconds coming back the other way.
Exactly. Paxson tries to go baseline. Nobody picks him up. Shot clock at 5, and we have a foul. That'll be on Vinnie Johnson.
Well, they did such a fine job defensively until that last moment. They almost had the clock right where they wanted it. And they have Cliff Livingston, Chicago, bringing Livingston into the game right now.
Grant will go to the line to shoot a pair. He's not wearing his goggles. Took them off week or so ago. Doctors say he really doesn't have much depth perception outside of 12 feet, but he is playing without it. Bragg gets the first. We'd like to remind you immediately following tonight's game, Hubie and I will be selecting the Budweiser player of the game. Cliff Livingston checks into the lineup.
It was a good move by Phil. Phil went with his quick people, and now, because of the foul, he's putting in a stronger defensive team by bringing Livingston in up front.
8 points, 4 rebounds in Livingston's most extended action since early April on Sunday. And Livingston goes down hard. Rodman gets away with it.
Yeah, he did. He got away with the force.
And then Hodges slaps with Vinnie Johnson with 3.6 on the game clock. Hodges first. Detroit will bring it in with 3.6.
Now, watch Rodman. See, he just pushes Livingston. Livingston's right in his way. You can't do that. You're not allowed. He took away the lane. You must miss him. All right, here we go now.
This is it. We'll have a blocking foul called on Chicago, and that is a big break for Detroit, trailing by 7 with no time showing on the clock.
Yeah, Joe Dumars got hit that time in the groin area. As he elevated from our angle, it looked like he did not have any place to go. It looked like Livingston was there. Let's get a better shot at it. He's there now. He was moving. Good call. Plus, he caught him with a forearm right up in the shoulder area. He was definitely moving.
Dumars 3 of 3 from the line. He has 14 points already in the ballgame.
This year, Joe Dumars made 62 in a row. And that is the 4th longest streak in NBA history. Calvin Murphy at 78. Larry Bird at 71. Rick Barry at 68. Then Joe at 62. That's why in Friday night's game, when he missed the 2 at the end of the game, it was so heartbreaking, very exasperating for Joe himself.
Quarter number 2 coming up with the Bulls leading by 5. Exactly what we expected. A hard-fought ground war between these two teams. Bulls 27, Pistons 22 at the end of the first quarter of play.
Now we're going to appreciate 2 great players going head-to-head here. Now watch Jordan gamble. As he gambles, Joe comes down in there and throws up that semi-hook off the glass. At the other end of the floor, we have Dumars playing Jordan. Watch how he fights through the screen, fights through the Pippen screen. Now he's up in there. He thinks that he's discouraged the shot. Michael just takes it right up in his face.
Dumars 5 of 8 for 16 points. The rest of the Pistons only 3 of 9. Only 3 Pistons have scored as B.J. Armstrong is checked into Chicago's lineup with Will Perdue. Aguirre in for Detroit.
That's that guard around play. Perdue never should have put that ball out there. Joe was looking for it.
B.J. Armstrong on Dumars. And they're going to call 3 seconds. They did.
Joe would have been better off taking that shot. He was down in there. He feels he can shoot up over the top of B.J. Now, at the end of the first quarter, Chicago shot 60%. But the thing that you love, if you're a Chicago fan, 11 assists in that quarter.
Paxson with 4, Jordan with 3. Perdue underneath. Dumars ties him up, and there will be a jump ball between Will Perdue at 7 feet and Joe Dumars at 6'3".
Well, Perdue just doing a great job in the playoffs, especially right here on the offensive board. He anticipated that when Joe did an excellent job, but you must put your body on Perdue and keep him out of there.
Into the hands of Vinnie Johnson. Talking about good defense. Don't forget Joe Dumars was all-defensive second team this year in the NBA.
Chicago getting great center play with Cartwright and Perdue.
Edwards will check into the lineup. Vinnie Johnson can't get the shot to go. Pippen clears the board. 11 minutes left in the half.
Now the second unit is quick.
You can't let him go off the dribble. Bill Lambier's argument is, why are you making that call? Steve Jabby's right underneath where the play was.
And you can see Chuck Daly did not appreciate that one. Now you're going to see Pippen. See, Pippen crosses over, goes right by Sally, and then they call it on Aguirre or Lambier. Now, the one ref is standing right there in your picture. Steve Jabby never made the call. The call was made out on the wing by Danny Crawford. They call that on Lambier. That's why he was so upset. because the whistle came from outside.
He looked right at Steve Javie and said, why didn't you make the call? The number's on Scottie Pippen. He makes the first. He has 7 so far this evening. And then after the play, Aguirre and Livingston were exchanging words.
Scottie Pippen is just on fire, shooting 54% from the field, 33 on threes, and 78 on the line. Plus, he's your leading assist man. Now be ready for the trap. See, they're going to force the big people to handle the ball.
Good job by the Pistons.
Main thing here is to get the Pistons out of their offense, waste time. Already they're inside of 13 seconds.
Vinnie Johnson over Craig Hodges. Hodges may have gotten a piece of it. Inside, the ball goes down again.
Vinnie Johnson just ripped that right out of the defensive player's hands.
Johnson averaging 4.8 rebounds a game. Sally is down.
Livingston leveled him there with a forearm.
Purdue, the basket goes.
Will Purdue works so hard every day with the big heavy ball of catching it and dunking, catching, dunking, you know, and he's out there every day with Tex Winter, the assistant coach, and you can see it's paid off. Oh, boy.
Dumars telegraphs the pass. Armstrong, he'll be hammered. Good foul, though.
Good foul. Excellent foul. No way are they going to let you take it to the basket, but I cannot believe that they are calling.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm hurting you. Joe Dumars got around the front. He's going right to Garrison saying, I got in front of this play. Now you watch it now. He works his way around. He gets in front. Now the rule is that you get the guy from behind and you deliberately hurt the player. Or you foul him where you can deliberately hurt him. Now here's the Bulls bench in game 1. You can see that they did a terrific job. And not only that, but they came in with double-figure rebounding. Now, this is a tough call. It's a very, very tough call. Because when you call that you're trying to injure the player, you get 2 foul shots and you get the ball on the side. But Dumars definitely worked his way around to the front of the man.
No question. Armstrong's just 1 of 2. Chicago will have the ball.
The other way to look at this, Ron, is you say, well, he deliberately tried to hurt him on the way up. Now, that was a hard foul, and both arms were extended up in the air. So I don't care how you look at that. That was not a 2-shot foul in the ball.
Exactly. On the front court scoring, Detroit only 2 points from their front court. Chicago 21 points. So as we mentioned at the top, we're keeping our eye on the inside game of the Pistons. Right now, it is non-existent. As Isaiah Thomas is checked back into Detroit's lineup, Dumars takes a seat.
Chicago's in a nice even flow, Ron. They're getting everything that they want. They're getting much better shots than Detroit. And once again, we cannot overemphasize the assists. They're playing within their offense. Detroit's struggling. Offensive foul on James Edwards. They say that he caught him with his leg as he set the screen for Vinnie Johnson.
We've got a timeout. 9:37 in Chicago Stadium. The Bulls with their biggest lead. 9:37 remaining in the half. It is a 10-point Chicago lead. As Chicago shooting 61%, Detroit just 45%. The assist for Chicago up to 12-5. But turnovers for Detroit.
Yeah, that's the big thing right now. Detroit has 7 turnovers. Chicago 11 points off the turnovers. And that's where they're dynamite. Anytime that you turn it over, they get an advantage 3-on-2, 4-on-2 because of their quickness. I really like their game. They have an open floor right now, and they're allowing Pippen to take Sally off the dribble.
Pippen inside. He will be hammered out of the play by a host of Pistons.
This forces Chuck Daly to make a defensive move here right now and bring in Rodman.
Edwards picks up his second.
I see, this just shows you how good this offense is. They're excellent in shooting, 2nd in the league. Right. They have the 3-point shooting. They're 7th in the league in scoring. And remember, they hold you defensively.
Pippen now with 11 points. Michael Jordan only with 4. As he remains on Chicago's bench. Dennis Rodman comes back in. Edwards will have to leave with 2 personal fouls, or they're taking Sally out instead.
Well, they need to match up Rodman on Pippen. He's running wild right now. Force Phil Jackson to stop opening up the floor and allowing this one-on-one from the top of the circle.
Pippen can't get this one to go. Rodman with the board, and with 9:23, the Bulls find themselves up by 11. Chicago's 6 straight points. The biggest lead of the game for the Bulls.
It's just taking the Pistons too long to get what they want, to get started.
Mark Aguirre, 25 points in game 1. Edwards, his shot clock. The shot clock goes off, but there is a foul before.
Mark Aguirre, watch it now, Mark. Mark Aguirre smacked the ball down on the floor, but he caught it. Are you going to see Aguirre go in here now? He gets hit by Livingston right there, see? He definitely had his arm locked. No call. Now, Edwards, as he goes in, gets hit a couple of times, but Aguirre really is steaming. Chuck Daly taking him over on the side right now to talk to him. Chuck needs him, and he needs him to be under control.
That foul was on Purdue, his first personal. The Prince of Pessimism talking to Aguirre. Edwards misses the first. Gets the second. He's only shooting 67% of the playoffs, 73% on the year.
Look at this guy. He's like a runaway express train.
Doesn't get it. Rebound, Rodman. Number 5.
He's so clever in the open floor. He's playing with so much confidence over other years.
Vinnie Johnson from outside. Pippen knocks him down hard. No foul call. Hodges for 2.
See, you can't blink. At no time tonight can you hang your head, because they are so quick and they're feeling it, because they're making all their perimeter shots. So they're cocky on the break right now. They're making things happen.
They led by 12 in game 1. They lead by 12 now. Edwards. No, we've got a foul. That'll be on Cliff Livingston.
With Chicago trapping that pick and roll in the middle of the floor hard. They're getting the ball back to the pick man at the top of the circle, and you're going to see this. Now, this has happened at least 3 times. They are having trouble making the next play, the next pass.
Vinnie Johnson on Hodges. Gets Hodges up in the air. Can't complete the play. Rebound controlled by the Bulls with 8:05 left to be played in the half. They lead it by 12.
Bulls doing a great job on the defensive board.
And quite a balance between control and spontaneity. Livingston.
Now, come on. Let's face it. They're on a roll. Cliff didn't even hesitate. He got that one right out there.
They're on a 10-1 run. Cliff Livingston just bettered his playoff average. Aguirre inside with the right hand won't go down. Tries to control his own rebound. Ball belongs to the Pistons or to the Bulls.
The white shirts are dominating defensively, doing a terrific job in coverage. Now just watch this. So they're in there banging. Now Detroit's banging around. He just cannot get a break. You see, they're really jacked up. This second unit has done an excellent job now, 2 games in a row.
Shot clock at 10. Still a lot of time left. Michael Jordan's still on the bench.
The second unit plays out of an open floor game.
Livingston's turnaround won't go, but he keeps it alive, knocking it away. But we have a whistle, no basket. It is a kick. And a new 24. But defensively, Cliff Livingston knocking the ball away, keeping it alive.
It's a very good move by Phil Jackson. Since this unit's been on the floor, they're playing open. They're allowing Scottie Pippen to beat you off the dribble, and B.J. Armstrong. They're allowing, and then if they kick out, the people are getting uncontested shots, but they're relying on their quickness with the ball off the dribble.
Detroit only 3 points in this quarter. Only 2 starters have scored. Only 4 players total for Detroit.
We've played 5 minutes.
Yeah. Armstrong, baseline, doesn't get it. Rodman pulls it away from Purdue. If you're Chuck Daly, you have to be concerned here. You only have Joe Dumars and Isaiah Thomas. And right now, Isaiah's not even on the floor. Who scored for you as starter?
Right. The big thing on it, easy shots.
Yeah.
One team's struggling. Everything is with a white shirt hanging over you. But at the other end, they're getting wide open shots.
Dumars into Rodman, who wasn't expecting the pass. Pippen.
Look at this.
It's showtime in the stadium. They're going to get it to half court and call a timeout. Watch a quick trap here. And there is a foul call before they can even get the timeout as Hodges is whistled for his second. But the Bulls on a 12-1 run. They've opened up a 16-point advantage. 6:14 left in the half. We'll be back. 16-point Chicago advantage. 6:14 left in the half.
They're on fire. Building's rocking. They're giving you transition game. Just so that we understand how good is the Chicago defense. Everyone talks about Detroit holding you under 100. Sure, 51 times. The second team in this league is Chicago. We also know that they lead the league in differential with a 9.1, and they're leading in the playoffs with a differential of 12 a game. So they are continuing. It's a team that an awful lot of people just think of as offensive, but it is an outstanding defensive ball club.
Michael Jordan has come back into the lineup. He enters with only 4 points. Detroit, you talk about defense, they're only 1 of 7 this quarter for 38%. They're still yet to score a fast break point. Meanwhile, Chicago has 11. Bulls on that 12-1 run with just about 6 minutes left in the half. They lead it by 16. Dumars from outside, 16 first quarter points. He adds 2 more.
But when you're around this game a long time, you are not going to get it done from the perimeter.
No.
And not in this league. You need the inside play so that you get fouled and get on the foul line.
Rodman blocks Purdue's shot, but Detroit lives dangerously on that perimeter game anyway. Aguirre, the shot, it counts and he gets the foul. No, they're calling out now.
Get a T here.
They're calling an offensive foul on Aguirre.
See, Aguirre has gone to the basket strong 3 times now. He was fouled by Livingston on one. I got a no call. And then on the other, and there he goes. That it's a very, very strong move. Jordan was moving, getting in there to take that charge. It was close. We're staying with the wide open game here now with the second unit.
Hodges for 3, doesn't get it. Aguirre with the rebound. He keeps Livingston off the ball.
Get the ball out, get the ball up the floor. Darryl Garrison just told Aguirre, to get his act together here.
Detroit obviously feeling they're on the bad end of the calls. Aguirre for 3. He goes down hard, and he finally gets a call.
You must guard Mark Aguirre out on that perimeter. In the playoffs, he's 10 for 28 in threes. And in game 1 on Sunday, he was 3 for 4 in threes.
And Mark Aguirre goes to the line. Yet to score this evening. As you mentioned, 25 points on Sunday. Was 9 of 16 from the floor. The numbers from game 1 for the playoffs. He's 84% from the line.
We can't say enough about the defense. When you say Aguirre and Vinnie Johnson came off the bench and had 19 field goals. The rest of the team only had 13. But we're almost seeing that tonight. But it's in the backcourt guys that are scoring.
Well, still, we only have 2 starters that scored, and only 3 others have scored. So 5 of the players for Detroit have put numbers on the board. Jordan, ball loose on the floor. Aguirre comes up with it. Livingston will be whistled for the foul, and that'll be his 3rd personal foul. A crowd of over 18,000 have come for Tuesday Night Madness at Chicago Stadium to watch their Bulls in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals. With 4:48 left in the half, the Bulls lead it by 13.
When you're coaching and you're on the road, you're inside of 5 minutes now and you're down 13. You're just trying to tell you guys, listen, stop trying to get it all back at one time. Get the lead down to 8 or 9. We go off at the half 8 or 9. We work our way in the 3rd quarter, try to even it up or go down into the last quarter only down 3 or 4. Just whittle a little bit at a time here. But once again, the second unit of Chicago did the damage in that first half.
We're talking the second unit of Chicago. That has been the Achilles heel. At least that's what everybody has said the whole year, that if there's a problem with it, Lambeer offensive rebound, and his first 2 coming underneath.
Chicago cannot fall asleep here now. You had a nice, comfortable lead. You know that Detroit's going to come back. They're an excellent defensive team, so you must keep working.
6 straight points for Detroit. Cartwright Lambier gets in his way. He'll try it again. Doesn't get it. Lambier tries to keep it alive. Billy Johnson with the loose ball.
Now, that definitely was in Detroit's favor because Lambier popped Cartwright pretty good.
Oh, yeah. Lambier outside. Ball tipped out by Pippen. 11 on the shot clock.
Detroit now, you get a field goal in this possession or a couple of foul shots, you're only down 8.
Game 1 is the first time Detroit has held an opponent under 100 points that they failed to win.
All right, 2-man game on the side. Vinnie Johnson, Aguirre versus Grant.
Aguirre off the glass and the soft touch goes down.
He's the guy that they must get going here because he can establish a lot of things for them down inside or from the wing area taking Grant off the dribble.
Aguirre playing in his hometown. Now has 4. 8-0 run by Detroit. Lambier has it slapped away, and we have a whistle and a foul, says Steve Jennings.
Lambier loves to strip you before you get the shot up. Now here's Aguirre. He's working hard. He takes Grant. He's got to go up over the top of Paxson. You know, they didn't give Paxson a charge call that time. You know, you're playing high school, college, you would have had it in that situation.
That is 3 personal fouls, however, on Bill Lambier. He will stay in the ballgame with 3:39 left in the half. In game 1, the numbers on him, 16 points. That was a 91 playoff high. Sally comes in. Lambier will obviously have to take a seat.
Now, when you add the 9 points that Will Perdue had, they had 25 points between them and a very solid 15 rebounds at the center position.
That's why Chuck Daly told us that Bill Cartwright was the key, he felt. Everybody in the lane a little early, but it still goes down. 5 for Cartwright. The lead, 42-33.
They're bringing Aguirre on the baseline.
Tries to spin on Grant. No place to go. Jordan slapping the ball away. It's showtime. Get the cameras rolling.
With Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan, you have 2 of the top 5 steal men in this league. When you get down inside, you cannot fall asleep because both of them will dart at you on the double team and go for the steal.
Detroit has won 10 straight playoff series. That may be in jeopardy. Shot will go down. We've got a whistle and a foul. That'll be against the Pistons. Inside of 3 minutes. 2:56 left in the half. The Bulls 44, the Pistons 33. And here are tonight's Nissan leaders. How about all defense? Phoenix back in 1981 held opponents to 89, but look where Chicago is in 91. Just 90.2 a game. Detroit won 2 NBA titles in 89 and 90 during the big defensive stand.
Well, we'd like you to keep an eye on Jordan coming down in here. You see, he'll try for the shot blocks, but he loves to strip you. And if you are dribbling, he'll go for the bounce. Now, once again, they make the steal and they convert in the open floor. They remind me a lot of the old Philadelphia 76er teams. I thought they were more dangerous when they were on defense than they were on offense. When they had Bobby Jones and Dr. J at the forwards with Andrew Toney and Reese Cheeks in the backcourt, they were dynamite in the open floor.
You talk about Jordan, all defensive team again this year for the 4th time.
Yeah, first team. He does it.
Pippen now 3 of 4 from the line. He has 13 points tonight.
The maturity of Pippen, game in and game out, he just continues to grow. Now here's the full court pressure. Now you must be careful here now. Look at this trap. Now you have Jordan and Grant on this trap. See, they're not looking to look up to get the ball up the floor. No good.
Aguirre buys a break.
That's all right. That has to be a deliberate kick. See, they want to kick ball.
Dumars in the paint with the layup, and it won't go down.
Look out. 3-on-2.
To Paxson. To Pippen, who's hammered by Sally.
He caught him hard that time. Now, Phil Jackson, he's looking out here right now. He's all upset, and he's telling him, shoot the basketball. See, he wanted Paxson to complete that play. Finish the play. Take it strong to the basket. They called another deliberate foul, okay, in this situation that you were trying. Now, that time, Sally took a swipe. Now, this is different than the first one.
That's a lot different.
Right, Dumars had his arms up in the air. And you're going to see, we're going to give you a replay, and Sally definitely takes a swipe. Now, here's your drop-off. Now, that kind of surprised him. You see, now there he goes right there. See, he caught him right alongside the neck. So they're saying, okay, a deliberate hit, trying to injure a player. Boom, you shoot two, and you get the ball on the side.
Doesn't get it. He'll have another. We'd like to remind you, immediately following our game, more NBA playoff action. The Lakers in Portland in the Western Conference Finals. Game 2, the Lakers lead that 1-0. Bob Neal, Doug Collins standing by for that.
Oh, he missed them both. See, Detroit exasperated. All of their inside people. None of the inside guys can get their game together. We have Tree Rollins coming in now, 14-year veteran player, shot blocker. Chuck is looking for him to give him 2.5 minutes of some shot blocking and some good defense. He's on Cartwright.
Rollins has only played in 3 playoff games thus far. Did not play in game 1. Jordan has the ball stripped. Here comes Dumars. 4-on-2. Good defense by Jordan just to get back. Sync totally offensively. The Pistons are
nice move, strong move, and a goaltend. Yeah, so they called the goaltend. Jabby on the baseline had a goaltend. He said, "Good. Now let's see what they do here." Now just watch. He gets banged. He gets banged again. Now they took that off. They took that off the board. Shot counts, and the ball hit the backboard before it was hit. So you got the basket counts plus Aguirre on the line.
And that foul was on Grant. That is his first personal.
See, I like Aguirre versus Grant. If he doesn't get it into low post, let him pop out, take Grant off the dribble. He's been able to beat him every single time. He either gets a good shot chance or he's been fouled.
Aguirre 2 of 4 from the line this evening. He has 6 points, 2 of 5.
But their shooting on the foul line tonight is just a disaster. They make their foul shots. They're only down 10. If they had any kind of a night on the foul line, in spite of how poorly they're playing, they'd still be in the game.
Detroit 8 of 12. Chicago 9 of 15 from the line. Jordan's pull-up jumper. Can't find the range. Rollins tips it to Rodman. We talk about Michael Jordan, his shooting woes in the playoff series. 49% for the playoffs, but the last 3 games, 42%. Tonight he is 3 of 6. As you mentioned, you try to get it inside of 10, and Vinnie Johnson does just that.
They're doing fine, but they just cannot lose their head, which they've done on a few occasions, and it's lost them.
And now Chicago wants a 20-second timeout. 1:23 left to be played in the half. It is an 8-point Chicago lead. They've led by as many as 16. We'd like to remind you, coming up on our Prudential halftime report, in our Atlanta studios with first half highlights. Plus, we'll have a preview of game 2 of our doubleheader between the Lakers and the Trailblazers. And Paul Ryden, his unique perspective of the Chicago Bulls past and present. And gosh, we're all looking forward to that. That's all coming up at halftime on the Prudential halftime report.
Now we're going to give you a play with Joe Dumars, being occupied by Jordan at the top. Now here comes Vinnie Johnson around one screen, and he's coming up, and he split the screen. See, he lost his defensive player. Now they have put in a number of screens down inside where you can come off them as a stagger, or if you run through it, you get a good. Oh, now there was a pop right there.
And the ball belongs to Detroit. Rodman and Grant collided. I think they're saying maybe everybody just tripped.
Now, to me, I thought Dennis Rodman definitely ran right into Grant. Come on, we could have reached out and touched both guys.
I think I saw that too. 8-point lead.
See, they just ran Vinny again off that same screen.
Vinny uses the bank effectively, and he makes that deposit.
See, that's smart. See, because you're making Paxson chase you through 2 big men on the screens, and he's been bumped off both times.
Pippen over Tree Rollins, and what a presence the big number 3-0 had on that play.
He's done a nice job. He's gotten 1 rebound, kept another one alive, and intimidated 2 shots in less than 2 minutes.
Detroit on a 14-4 run. To Rodman inside. The easy bunny shot won't go down, but Cartwright steps out of bounds. Now belongs to Detroit.
The reason why the building's going nuts. Paxton Boston was leveled by one of those two big guys. See, they ran Vinnie Johnson once again on that staggered screen on the baseline. Now they have Rollins down in there, and they have Rodman setting these screens, and they've been really, putting it on people.
Rodman into Johnson. Johnson tied up by Paxson. Ball's loose. Pippen comes out of the pack, and he is tripped on the play by Tree Rollins.
Vinnie Johnson is over on Dan Crawford. He's saying, I got fouled. That's how they got the ball loose on the floor. That's how Paxson gets it away from me. Now just watch it here. Vinnie goes to step in. See, Vinnie is saying he's got me by the arm. That's how the ball came loose. Then they get the trip right there.
And they called it on Vinnie Johnson. They called the trip on Vinnie Johnson. Who should have been Tree Rollins.
Yeah, you could have called either guy, Rollins or Rodman.
Pippen, who had missed 4 of his last 5 free throws, finally connects on one. It is a 7-point lead, 35.5 for Phil Jackson and the Bulls.
Now, if Detroit can get it up quick, you can almost go 2 for 1 here right now. But you must advance it quickly.
The shooter's roll goes down. Rodman on the press.
This will now happen off the play. You have to look up the floor. See, there's a 2-on-1 in the back on Cartwright.
Dwyer takes it hard to the hole, and he's got it with the finger roll.
No charge in this league. The fans are going nuts. He took it underneath the rim. No way are you going to get that in the NBA.
There's about a 1-second difference as Dwyer has 8 points this period between the game and the shot clock. Paxson will take his time.
They're bringing Cartwright to the ball. Now Michael's on a 1-on-1.
Jordan from outside, and he's got it.
Big thing here, you have 5 seconds, Detroit.
Rodman, an off-balance shot won't go, and that is the way the half will end. The shot will not count. Detroit has T-shirts that say, we're doing it the hard way. And they are again this evening. The Bulls lead at intermission, 49-41. Ernie Johnson and Dick Versace are next in our studios in Atlanta.
24 at Chicago Stadium, where the Bulls have a 49-41 lead over the Detroit Pistons. Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Final. Ernie Johnson here in Atlanta with the Prudential halftime report, joined by Dick Versace. Now, this Detroit Piston team, they struggled in Game 1 in the first quarter. Today, the second quarter of a bit of a struggle, but they're back in this thing after being down by 16. Looked like a blowout.
It's the identical deficit they had in Game 1. The only difference is, in Game 1, Thomas, Dumars, Lambier, and Edwards did not contribute offensively, and then didn't do it again in the second half. But in this game, you're hearing a lot from Joe Dumars. So I think there's a little bit of a possibility that you're going to see a barn burner in the second half.
Again, the Chicago defense so strong and given Detroit fits.
The key is Michael Jordan. Can I show you something, EJ?
Please do. That's why the machine is here.
I'm kind of excited about this, okay? What's really happening and what Detroit has to figure out to do is what to do about this guy. Michael Jordan is legal here defensively. Should be up a little further here. But hey, here's this guy out here. Is he interested in this guy? He's not even looking at him. He's looking over here because he knows this play. It's going to be a screen and roll. Edwards is going to end up down in here, and all he's interested in is this down here. He's zoning off. So watch what happens. Edwards is going to be involved in this screen and roll. He's going to get a nice deep post up out of it right here. But look at Michael. There's this guy. He says, forget it. He's looking at this guy here. Watch. There's the play. Goes inside to Edwards. Patented move. He knows James Edwards ain't going to pass it. Where's Joe Dumars? He should be over here or over here. So what happens? It's not even a long rebound. The rebound comes out. It's a short rebound. Look, Bill Lambier falls down. So you know what happens? His man is streaking down the sideline over here, and it's going to be a nice, easy dunk for Horace. There's a problem. Detroit better solve it. And I say the only way to solve it is unpredictability. Now watch what happens here. I think they need to run some simple stuff. Little screen here, little thing here, another screen here, and get an isolation here. Let's see what happens. All right, now watch a little pin down over here. Mark Aguirre brings out Vinnie Johnson. Vinnie Johnson gets a step-up screen for Mark Aguirre. Mark Aguirre gets the ball. But look, here he is again. Now, if you go away from him and you do it unpredictably, you got a shot. They need to do a lot more of this. Here's Aguirre. He makes a real fine move. Notice he went away from Jordan, and he got some unpredictable movement. And you got to see a lot of that in the second half, because if you don't see it, They're too locked into the Detroit plays. They know them almost as well as Detroit.
Today's word is unpredictability.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
No, never, no.
Stealing the Charles Barkley routine. Now, game 2 of our doubleheader here on TNT tonight. The LA Lakers and Portland Trail Blazers. LA with a 1-0 lead in that series. Let's get more from the guys who will call it. Bob Neal and Doug Collins. Guys.
Thanks, Ernie. In a little while, there will be a lot of Portland faces in the stands here at Memorial Coliseum, and on the faces will be a look of worry and concern because already Portland finds themselves with a critical game coming up in Game 2 of the Western Conference Championship Series. Portland blew a 14-point lead, lost 111-106 to the Los Angeles Lakers, and now Portland has lost that home court advantage they had won by winning 63 games, Doug.
Well, Bob, it was just an awful 3 minutes for them to start the fourth quarter. They had 7 turnovers in the fourth quarter, shot 4 for 14, scored only 14 points. Clyde Drexler scored 10. But I think it was their lack of aggressiveness on the defensive end that really cost them. I think we're going to look at one play here, and you're going to see what happens. It's a 1-point game now, and you're going to see Drexler and Kersey, the 2 guys I have circled. There's some miscommunication in their defense. Magic Johnson's going to hit Byron Scott as he pops out, and he's going to make a little rub cut. James Worthy's going to step out and back screen. Kersey should have switched. He did not. The easy pass inside for the easy layup, and this gives the Lakers a 1-point lead with about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go. You see there, Kersey should have switched. He did not. This was Magic's second field goal of the game. And look at Rick Adelman over there on the sideline. He's absolutely livid with his team, knowing that that kind of defense in the playoffs just will not get it done.
How about tonight's game? Any significant changes in matchups or anything coming our way?
Well, as of right now, I don't see that, but I think the things you're going to have to look for are the Lakers outran them here and outshot them at the free throw line, something that you just can't do at home in the playoffs. So the Portland's going to have to be much more aggressive.
Past several years, Portland has been trying to overcome the image of the Lakers as being the #1 team in the West. That's still the problem for the Portland Trail Blazers. We'll have the game in just a little while. Ernie from Portland.
All right, thank you very much, Bob Neal and Doug Collins. And when the Prudential halftime report continues, a Paul Ryden report. The Bulls, is this the year they make it to the NBA Finals? It comes your way next. In the Bulls-Pistons Eastern Conference Final as the Prudential halftime report continues. While the Bulls have been to the playoffs 17 times in their 25-year history, they have never played for an NBA title. That would all change, of course, if they can get by the Pistons in this series. And as Paul Ryden reports, it would be the perfect anniversary present.
How did you celebrate your 25th anniversary? A little romance, perhaps? The Chicago Bulls celebrated theirs like this. For the 5th time in their relatively brief history, the Bulls are in the conference finals. Of course, this is a franchise that was special from the start. They won their very first game in 1966 and became the first and only expansion team in NBA history to make the playoffs their first season.
I remember Richie Guerin, who was the coach of the then St. Louis Hawks, made a statement and said the Bulls probably won't win 12 to 15 games. Well, we used that as a battle cry that first year, and we opened in St. Louis at the arena, and the first victory that we got was against Richie Guerin and the St. Louis Hawks, so that was really kind of neat.
Chicago was once again a 4-sport city with 5 teams. The Bulls, the Cubs, the White Sox, the Blackhawks, the Bears, and there have been some memorable teams. Who can forget the Bears of '85, the White Sox of '59, the Black Sox of 1990? Well, let's forget about them. How about the Bulls of '73-'74? Of the 5 conference final teams, this was the first. On that team, 3 future NBA head coaches, Atlanta's Bob Weiss, and 2 who would square off against each other in this year's playoffs, Portland's Rick Adelman and Utah's...
I always wanted to be a coach, but I never really, my concentration at that time basically was strictly as a player. I didn't have a coach's mentality on the floor, and I think those guys had more of a coaching mentality as they played than I did.
There was no aspirations that way. I think the only influence it might have had on the game was that we were a pretty smart ball club.
Smart, talented, and gutsy. During that opening round playoff series against Detroit in '74, Weiss took pain-killing shots in his heel, and Sloan broke his foot in Game 6. The Bulls should have been at a disadvantage in Game 7, but...
Before we started the game, Jerry came up on crutches and the place exploded. And it was just like, I mean, right at that point, we won the game. Because our team was so up that Detroit couldn't do anything with us, and we ended up winning the series even without Jerry.
They won the clincher by 2 points, but the Bulls, without Sloan, were no match for Milwaukee, and they were swept in the conference finals by the Bucks. but the first of Chicago's 5 conference finals made 73-74 a season to remember.
We just had a group that really understood what we were trying to do out there, and we always remained very, very focused.
It was a great group of people who really knew what it took to win, knew what it took to win in this league, and it was just a great experience for me.
While all 5 Chicago teams are now considered contenders, world championships here are rare. So one has to wonder if, like that other Chicago sports icon Ernie Banks, Michael Jordan will spend his entire career in the Windy City and never see action in the big game. Only the Pistons now stand in the way.
No doubt the city is ready for the Bulls, rather, to make the NBA Finals for the first time. You live in Chicago. The place is going pretty nuts. Huh?
And I lived in Chicago during that era as well. And now I'm living in Chicago during this era, and I look exactly the same.
It's a fact, folks. It's a fact.
But they are very excited in Chicago right now.
They certainly are. Unpredictability. That's the key word tonight. Coming up, Game 2 of our doubleheader later tonight. The Lakers and the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. And just ahead, the third quarter, Detroit and Chicago.
Pistons told us they are best when they are threatened. And right now, Chicago's doing the threatening. They lead it by 8, and we are at halftime. Ron Thulin along with UB Brown. And the first noticeable stat you see is that Michael Jordan played 18 minutes, only 8 points in that first half.
Yeah, but they got a great production out of Scottie Pippen as well as the bench. The bench took the game from 5 to 13. Excellent job.
And some of the stats were definitely telling us the Pistons, their front court scoring, only 1 of 6 for 3 points, but here's the field goal percentage. Chicago not all that hot, Detroit not all that cold, but look at the fast breaks.
Yeah, the fast breaks, that's definitely where the game is being decided right now. And not only the fast breaks off the missed rebounds in that, but as we look at the front court points, you can see Detroit has absolutely no game in inside. Chicago doing an excellent job. And then here it is again. The points off the turnovers. Chicago 18. They're really making them pay. Now, the reason why all of this is being brought out is that Detroit has only averaged 10 turnovers in their 12 previous playoff games. Scottie Pippen, a whirlwind, 16 points, leading the fast break, doing an outstanding job. Now we want to show you how Detroit got back. Here's Vinnie Johnson, and here's his man. You're going to see Dennis Rodman set a first pick, and here comes Tree Rollins to set another pick. Now we call this stagger. Now just watch. Rodman nails Paxson. Now as they come up here now, for him to come off, you're going to see Paxson goes what we call double spacing. Vinnie reads the pick and fades, and they catch Paxson double spacing. That opens up a very easy shot for Vinnie.
Well, Chuck Daly is known for shaking up his lineup. How about now? Tree Rollins starting in place of James Edwards to start the second half.
Well, Rollins very productive.
Oh, yes.
Hey, he was down in there. He intimidated people. He set good picks, helped out on the boards.
Lambier comes out to meet Jordan, quickly has to back up. Jordan over Lambier, doesn't get it, but the follow goes down by Cartwright.
Big offensive rebound. Dennis Rodman was inside of Cartwright. Cartwright went right up over the top of him.
We had 3 ties, 1 lead change. The biggest Chicago lead was 16. Isaiah Thomas for 2. Rollins with a rebound. Tips it to Isaiah, who tips it to Lambier. Dumar's only 2 points in the second quarter. This is off to Rollins with the big slam.
If Tree Rollins will just go to the front of the rim every time that there's a drive, Cartwright leaves his man to help out.
First playoff points for Rollins. Paxson comes up short.
Detroit with only 2 fast break points in the whole game. Everything is a struggle, but now they're hitting a better rhythm.
So Dumar from outside, can't get it to go down. Jordan with the rebound. His first board of the ball game.
Michael Jordan, no rebounds in the first half, no foul shot attempts.
Only 8 points. Pippen is hammered inside, and 3 Pistons converged on him. Rollins, Rodman, and Lambier. Rodman put a right arm on top of Pippen's back.
Well, they rotated, did an excellent job. Just watch Rollins. He keeps him behind the backboard. Here they come down inside. Forearm by Lambier. Rodman comes on his back, and even Rollins had a piece of him.
Pippen goes to the line. He's already made 11 trips to the line. He is 6 for 11.
Yeah, he's missed 5, and it's really hurt Chicago. Phil very exasperated. They want to get to the foul line. They're hoping to get over 30 foul shots. They're on their way. This is their 19th foul shot attempt.
Pressure again put on by Chicago. Cartwright coming over for the double team.
Now here's your trap at half court. See, this is excellent.
A lot of standing around by Detroit. Nobody really coming to help Isaiah.
Inside of 10 seconds.
Dumars for 3. He had to push it instead of shoot it.
Rollins, see, that ball should have gone right down inside. Rollins was standing right in front of the basket, calling for the ball.
Chuck Daly said he was not pleased with the lack of aggression on his team. Lambier just sticks out his leg, and he'll be whistled for the foul. That'll be his 4th personal foul. I don't think Bill Lambier had any intention of going for the ball on that.
No, what he wanted to do, see, and he got it. He fouled outside, so they take the ball out on the side. That was a very intelligent foul. Now Chuck Daly is leaving Lambier in there. He's going for broke right now.
He has 4. We're just inside of 10 minutes of the 3rd quarter. Dumas punching away at the ball on Jordan. Jordan pulls the trigger.
The only thing wrong that you see with this lineup out on the floor right now for Detroit is that Chicago can trap it. And also, you have no inside players once again on the floor for you.
Michael Jordan has only taken 9 shots. He's made 5 inside of Rodman. He's got it.
That was a sensational play by Isaiah.
Mark Aguirre will come into Detroit's lineup. Pippen, Rodman on him. They work it around to Jordan. Shot clock inside of 10. The defensive player of the year in the NBA. Rodman on Pippen. Gets kicked by Cartwright big time.
Good block.
Rollins blocks at 1 on the shot clock. Pippen can't get it to go into the hands of Cartwright. Chicago with another chance. And a foul on Detroit.
See, the long rebound came out, and they get very finally the ball. They get the ball to Pippen. They allow Pippen to take you off the dribble. We've only played 3 minutes and 5 seconds. The Pistons already have 3 fouls.
Rodman picks up his second. Lambier goes out. Jordan goes hard to the floor, but we've got a foul on Rollins. That'll be his second.
Now, already, the next foul is the penalty. Now, this is a real battle here right now. Dumars allowed to put his hands on him. Call that hand checking. Great move by Michael. Nice little push off and the basket. They're going to allow this one to go. A lot of hand checking, a lot of pushing off with the forearm.
Well, Phil Jackson was concerned prior to game 1. He says that Detroit gets away with a lot of hard hand checking. Jordan stops back, gets the 3.
Oh, yes.
And he points at Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, and he wanted a foul. He said he got hit on the forearm. He wanted a 4-point play. With Detroit now, you must watch out. You're 12 down. You can't let this get away from you now. Get up into the high 15, 16s.
We've already trailed by 16-1. Shot clock at 5.
Taking them too long.
Shot clock at 2. Shot clock at 1. Aguirre lets it go, and he drains it.
Mark Aguirre, Vinnie Johnson. You know, really a godsend here for them this evening.
Aguirre, 4 of 6 from the floor. Inside, Grant, the high archer won't go down, but he does draw the foul.
Now, that's the penalty. Now, you have to play the rest of this time here, almost 8 minutes in the penalty. Now, the trouble with that unit that they had on the floor, when you have Lambier and Rollins, you have 2 guys who can be taken off the dribble at any time. Chicago did a terrific job in exploiting that.
Horace Grant, all his points coming in the first quarter. He gets his first to the second. He has 10. The Bulls bench, B.J. Armstrong, Stacey King. Grant, who worked on his upper body strength in the offseason under conditioning coach Al Vermeil, really has improved physically this year. He is now 5 of 5 from the line. He has 11 for the ball game, and the lead is 12.
Now, talking to their coaching staff, they'll tell you that the reason why they're a better defensive team is Pippen and Grant are more active and are quicker on the double teams.
and they required Grant to do so many things defensively. Dumars started 6 of 9 from the field, but has missed his last 4 shots. Thomas left wide open for the 20-footer, and he's got it. Thomas's first points is the first quarter. The lead is 10. Jordan loses it. Dumars should have the layup. Paxson will let him go, and the lead is down to 8.
Now, one of the very few, easy layups or a 2-on-1. We just have not seen that tonight in the Detroit game. That's excellent transition defense on Chicago's field.
Well, they give Michael Jordan a running start. Paxson with the jumper.
Cartwright could have forced up a baseline jump shot that time. He did not. He made the extra pass. And we want to keep bringing that point out to you. The Bulls are having a great night tonight in assists because they make the extra pass.
We've got a whistle, and that'll be a foul on the Pistons. It'll be
3 Rollins on the baseline.
And we've got a timeout. 6:39 left in the third. The Bulls lead it by 10. We'll be back. It's a 10-point Bulls lead with 6:39 remaining to be played in the third quarter. Now let's take a look. First of all, Coach, I want to ask you a question about the fact you're not buying a call. You're Detroit. If you look at the GMC playoff summary, the East Finals, the Bulls lead it. In the West, your comment on the West.
A nice stat there is LA has won all 4 road games. They're a very tough defensive club, and they play extremely well in the last 6 minutes in the power game. Portland cannot fall asleep like they did in the last 6 minutes of that game, especially at home.
Okay, pick your brain right now. You're trailing in a ball game by 10. You really can't buy a call. What do you tell your troops because you're not playing that well right now?
Yeah, but you came back in the second quarter by setting all those good baseline screens. You must continue to do so because Rollins and Rodman are doing a good job. You're still within striking distance. You got it down here around 10. Now you wanted to get it to 4 to 6 going into that last quarter.
And the assists continue to go up. The turnover for the Bulls. Isaiah on Paxson. Paxson swipes it away.
Nice play by Paxson. You got to play 2-man here. Get Aguirre in the game also.
Dumars over Jordan. He is fouled. But Grant and Aguirre were going at it down low, and they were setting up for that 2-man game.
Well, Isaiah looked at it, but Aguirre did not have good position, and he went right on the opposite side of the floor because they pinned Michael Jordan down inside. That's how Joe opened up.
Talk about Dumars not being able to hit anything here in the second half.
Well, he's just missed that foul shot, and the reason why you always are surprised when Joe misses, he shot 89% this year. He's really an excellent foul shooter.
Well, he has 21 points, 5 assists. He is 6 of 7 now from the free throw line as we near the 6-minute mark, and it's a 9-point Chicago lead.
And until this time, he's doing an excellent job on Jordan. There's been very little trapping of Michael up until this time.
They wanted to make Michael work defensively. Jordan, the pull-up, elevates way above Joe Dumars.
There's nothing you can do on that. He was right there. I'm surprised that Joe did not elevate to try to get the hand up there. You're not going to block his shot naturally because he's up so high.
7 this quarter for Jordan, who takes a swipe at Rodman as he passes through the lane. Jordan says, when I've got the ball one-on-one, you're at my mercy.
Aguirre's been able to take him on the dribble.
Shot blocked by Pippen. Aguirre on the ground with Grant. Paxson wide open.
Boy, he's found it tonight.
Paxson was concerned about his shooting. Hubie, he is 4 of 6 in the game.
Not only that, 5 assists to go along with it. He's playing a solid game.
Oh, he goes hard as Rollins takes him down.
Oh, he sure did. He's been popped a number of times tonight. Now, you can say, if you're a Detroit fan, you're saying, hey, come on. We're setting good, solid picks, and he's flopping as he's coming off the pick. You're a Chicago fan, you're saying, listen, we love Paxson. He's taking some real hard shots. You got to say, keep an eye on it. Now watch as he comes up here. Moving pick. Rollins catches him with the shoulder.
Rollins 4 fouls in 6.5 minutes this quarter.
Yeah, but he's expendable. What you're doing is you're buying time for him right now. Buying time with him in there.
A lot of hand checking by Dumars. Jordan tried to make the move too quickly, and he takes a seat.
Yeah, that's he pointed to the floor. He's saying that I was pushed, but he has slipped on 2 occasions. Now just watch as this goes up here. Scottie Pippen comes in and gets that block from the side. Scottie Pippen is doing it all this evening. And here is what we said at the top of the game. This is where they're murder. You try to put your transition defense strictly on Pippen and Jordan, you're in trouble with Paxson or Hodges out on the wing.
We've got a whistle. Carol Garrett says we've got a violation on Dennis Rodman.
Yeah. See what happened? Grant hit Rodman, see, first. All right, now there's Chuck. Chuck just he says, hey, we can't get anything here tonight. But what happened is, instead of Rodman just staying there, he had to retaliate, and by doing it, he moved into the circle before the ball was tapped.
Pippen 17 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, couple of steals and a block. Jordan.
And once again, Michael has surprised Joe by elevating quickly.
Jordan and Rodman got into it in game 1. Jordan saying, you can't cover me. Rodman looked right at him and says, I know I can't. Dumars throws up a prayer. Rodman tries to answer it. And Grant is hurt. He is holding his right eye. He is underneath the basket.
Well, they're gonna need something here. Yeah, 20-second timeout.
A foul was on Rodman. That is his second personal foul, and there is a 20-second timeout.
Now the people are throwing things down on the floor. This is really dumb. Here you're having guys slipping. Michael Jordan has already slipped and fallen twice, and you're going to throw something on the floor. Not very intelligent.
Well, there is no foul call now. They said there's no foul called.
Now what happened was there was contact. That's how the ball came loose. We're going to give you a look at this play. Just keep an eye on Grant. All right, now this is a bad shot. The ball goes up. Rodman keeps it alive. Now watch. See, Rodman catches him with his left hand on a back swing, and that opened up the ball. So he probably caught him right in the eye.
Now Dumars picking up Jordan full court. Little token pressure.
Now Michael has definitely come to life here.
Jordan again doesn't get it. Rodman with the rebound. Number 10. The NBA's second leading rebounder in the regular season.
Detroit's initial shots are very poor percentage shots this quarter.
They trail by 13, and it remains that as Grant pulls down the rebound with 3:45 left to be played in the third.
Grant is working very, very hard, and he's been doing a terrific job defensively all night.
Daly said in game 1 he was fishing for players. Someone, a combination that'll work as Rodman is whistled for the foul.
See, that ball came from the opposite wing. As it came around, Dennis Rodman ran right into the back pick.
This program is authorized and broadcasting rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the descriptions account of this game without the express written consent of the NBA is prohibited.
See, as Rodman ran into the pick, he bounced off and hit right into Pippen.
Pippen 8 of 13 from the line. Phil Jackson 4-4 versus Detroit in the playoffs the last 2 years. Garrison giving some advice to Rodman.
Their quickness in their half-court offense and their ability, Chicago's ability to move the basketball, they're just cutting them up. Just cutting them up, and they're getting easy shots. Their offense is getting to the foul line, and they're there. Shot 37 in game 1, and here they are tonight over 20. See, Detroit is not looking up the floor. They have a 2-on-1 if they'll just make the next pass up the floor.
Well, Rodman looked right at Dumars and threw his arms up like, I'm standing underneath here. What do you want me to do? Dumars lets it go for 3, doesn't get it. Rodman can't tip it, tries to keep it alive, but Pippen comes down with a loose ball. 8 rebounds now for Scottie Pippen, and listen to the crowd in the stadium. We have a whistle, and it'll be a foul against the Bulls.
It was Grant posting up that time. He cleared Marker Grier right away and hit him in the shoulder area. Good call. Oh, trap. Now you can see 4 white shirts. Now on the inbounds pass, here comes the trap. Now we're going to freeze it there. Now they have 2 people on this trap. Now they also have Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen over half court right here. Now just watch. The next pass comes over. Here comes the rotation, Pippen. Now, right here, you have 4 guys in the backcourt. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now that means up here, Detroit has a 2-on-1. They have not made that pass yet, and the one guy back is Bill Cartwright. You must explore that.
Back in action. 2:45 left to be played in the third. The Bulls 69, the Pistons 54. Vinnie Johnson into the game. The high archer, the running right-hander goes down.
That's the first time Vinny's had that pick and roll from the wing out there. By going baseline, they're not allowing Chicago to trap you.
No team has scored 100 points against Chicago in the playoffs this year, and that is definitely a trend that will continue tonight. Inside to Grant.
Well, Philadelphia lost 112-100, but no one has scored over 100.
Grant, he has 13.
This is the perfect example of one club being able to execute their offense and get their type of shots that they had all season.
Grier over Pippen, who takes a seat in the press row.
Detroit definitely struggling. Everything is perimeter, and they have not been able to get it done.
In the playoffs, you win inside out, not outside in. And it's not so much of a case of who wanting it more as it is a case of execution. And right now, Chicago is executing. They're executing Detroit. Bulls by 15, nearing the 1-minute mark in the third quarter. Johnson on Armstrong. The quick turnaround goes down and he gets the foul.
Now, by going in a 1-4 set that time, Vinnie Johnson has tremendous confidence against bigger guards than Armstrong. And he knows that once he gets him down inside the painted area, he'll use all of his moves and it just jump over the top of him.
The line will be Vinnie Johnson. 6 first-half points. He has 4 here in the second.
They keep hanging around. They keep hanging around. You make this, you're down 12. You still have 1:16 to play. They just cannot seem to get it down any further than 8.
Johnson has hit his last 4 field goal attempts, and it is a 12-point margin.
This is smart. Run some time off the clock.
Jordan one-on-one with Dumars. They're clearing the right side of the floor out as Cartwright sets the pick. Shot clock at 4. Pippen, the turnaround. Everything is going down for Chicago.
They're doing such a nice job down inside. I know some of the shots are tough. Now here's a real good move. Do not let Vinny one-on-one Armstrong. They trap him, make him give up the basketball.
Johnson for 3. Off balance, doesn't get it. He tries to chase down the rebound, not able to do it. Chicago has it. 36.7 left in the third.
See, smart basketball by Chicago. Anytime that Vinny wants the one-on-one, they're going to trap him with Michael Jordan, force him to give up the basketball, and then do not allow him to get it back.
The Bulls have lost the last 3 years in the Eastern Conference Finals to Detroit. Jordan for 3. Count it! Bulls' biggest lead of the game. It is 17 points.
Now, Michael quieted down on his threes this year. He only took 23. Last year, he attempted 245 during the regular season.
Aguirre, Rollins with the foul. Chicago has lost 4-1, 4 games to 2, and 4 games to 3 last year. The last shot of the third quarter. It'll count. Doesn't go. But we have played 36 minutes at Chicago Stadium. 18,676. Love what they see. The Bulls by 15.
I know.
Michael Jordan has 12 third-quarter points. He has 20 for the ball game, and that has given the Bulls the 76-61 lead at the end of 3.
I'm going to show you Michael coming off here and hitting a long one from downtown. You can see he's really got it in his eyes. He just came in with 12 points that quarter. Now, this is to show you Chicago. They led the league with 9.1 differential. And right now in the playoffs, they're leading there with 12.8 differential in the playoffs.
Remarkable.
They have held 4 teams, 4 games under 85 points. 2 to New York, 1 to Philadelphia, and 1 to Detroit. And they're on the verge of doing it again. Now, that is hellacious when you think about the fact they've only played 9 playoff games.
Vinnie Johnson, the leading scorer for Detroit in that quarter with 5 points. Tree Rollins, the second leading scorer with 4. Johnson off the glass, and he is trying to single-handedly keep the Pistons in this ball game.
That was a tough shot. Michael is right up there going for the block.
He is 6 of 11. Bill Laimbeer non-existent again as he's playing with 4 personal fouls as he was in game 1. Laimbeer only with 2 points in the ball game. Shot clock at 2. Armstrong has to throw it up high off the backboard. Livingston battles for the rebound, doesn't get it. Purdue, the third chance. The 3-foot shot goes 2 feet. Isaiah Thomas, only 6 points in the ballgame. 2 in the second half. Gets Purdue up in the air. Purdue blocks it, but he gets him with the body.
Purdue said, I'm going up strong that time. Isaiah really had nothing in there.
We are in Chicago Stadium, a sellout crowd, and the Bulls trying to go 2 games up on the defending champion Detroit Pistons. 10:58 left to be played in the ball game. 76-63 is our score. Isaiah's first trip to the free throw line, which shows the perimeter game they were playing. Not much driving and penetrating in the lane, and that's what they said Isaiah did so well. He broke down defenses going inside to the paint.
Well, when you look at the lineup that they have out on the floor right now, Isaiah, Vinny, and Joe Dumars, they're saying we're going to play a form of the passing game or opening up the court, and here comes our press. 2-2-1 right now with Rodman in there. Laimbeer is the only big guy on the floor.
An 11-point margin out for Chicago.
Now they match up man-to-man.
Laimbeer's on Livingston. Hodges being hounded by Thomas. To Jordan, what a pass. The shot won't go, but he does get the foul.
And they give him a 2-shot foul and the ball on the side. They're saying that you fouled him, and that could have caused an injury. It is a hard foul. Now just watch this great backdoor by Michael, and Laimbeer just takes him down hard, and so did Isaiah from the rear.
Third flagrant foul. Laimbeer's.
Now you're seeing tonight, this is almost a standstill. Two of them are negating one, and both should end up probably around 30 points.
Michael's first appearance at the free throw line. Laimbeer with 4 personal fouls.
Now, the reason why that's such a, big stat is Michael is averaging 8 foul shot attempts in the 9 previous playoff games.
Jordan gets them both. That foul was on Isaiah Thomas, his first. The lead is back to 13.
And in all basketball we saw this year, we have seen 3 deliberate fouls tonight trying to hurt the player underneath, not giving him a layup.
Isaiah is called for the push. I saw worse fouls, I think, during the regular season that weren't called flagrant fouls.
Well, they're not going to allow Detroit to send him to the floor anytime that there's a question about a guy possibly being injured. It's a good move by B.J. Armstrong. Isaiah caught him with the lower body.
Michael again elevates high. Livingston keeps it alive into the hands of Armstrong. That is what they brought Cliff Livingston here to do.
I'll tell you, once again, the second unit out there with either Michael or Pippen have been able to do an outstanding job.
Detroit with just 7 offensive rebounds. Chicago with 12. Armstrong for 3.
He is 2 of 3 from three-point land in the playoffs. Every time this group comes on the floor, they open up the lead.
Thomas inside, banks it home. Isaiah with 10.
Chicago shooting over 55%. Detroit cannot do anything with them from a defensive standpoint. Just got Dumars popping Michael Jordan that time as he was coming off that screen.
Second personal foul on Dumars. 9:40 left to be played. The Bulls handily on top. Our score with 9:40 left to be played in the ballgame. The Bulls lead at 81-67. Just a reminder, immediately following our contest, Bob Neal and Doug Collins are standing by as the Portland Trail Blazers and LA Lakers play Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals from Portland.
Detroit hanging around, Ron. They're hanging around. They're only down 14. But, you know, you're looking at this and you're saying for the first three-quarter, Detroit scores 22, 19, and 20. You just can't get it done on the road that way.
Michael Jordan, who Chuck Daly says has been just totally clobbering the Jordan rules. He's beating it every game.
Yeah, but they've kind of allowed Dumars to play him by himself this evening. There's no doubt about that.
He is 10 of 18, Jordan is now. Johnson over the outstretched hands of Hodges. Hodges will be whistled for the foul.
Anytime Greg Hodges comes in the game in a series versus Detroit, they immediately take him in a one-on-one situation. They go right at him, and they tried to get him in foul trouble, let his guys score to get him out of the offensive flow with the three-point threat.
Benny Johnson, who Bill Laimbeer says is the best guard in the NBA, never to make an all-star team. Well, 2 of 2 from the line. He has 14.
Vinny is averaging double figures every year that Detroit has been in the playoffs.
They call him the king of the Stairmaster. The exercise machine. His 2 free throws cut the lead back down to 14 inside of 9:15 in the game.
Detroit showing you a half-court trap now with the small unit.
Rodman with the steal. He has Thomas on his left. Livingston steals it away.
Great play by Cliff.
Jordan. Early spot up for the 3 inside to Livingston. He completes it.
That's the way to reward a guy when he did a great defensive job. Michael could have held that ball, but he delivered it right on the money.
Livingston said that the Chicago papers were all over him, and that has been an inspiration to him in the playoffs. Johnson's turnaround over Jordan goes.
Watch out. Will Purdue goes after Purdue. Just came after Rodman. Yes, indeed. And he is really hot. And he's telling him right now. All right, that all happened underneath the backboard. As that shot went down, okay, now they have just called a foul on Rodman. Now they're talking over here now. They're talking to Rodman. I don't know whether or not they're putting him out of the game or not.
Rodman walked away and Purdue went after him. They went over to shake hands and Steve Javie jumped in the middle like they were going to fight. And now the officials will come right in front of us.
Now that was a terrific shot. Now you watch this shot by Vinny. Now down inside, Rodman just laid one right in the lower back, and then they just took a pop at Purdue, and Purdue definitely should be upset. He got hit in the lower back with a forearm, and then he got hit in again by Rodman in the head. So of course he's not going to take it. I mean, you're in a situation where you are expendable also, but more important, you can't have guys trying to intimidate you. You've got to go and attack this guy.
Well, Chicago said they wanted to make a statement in Game 1 with a lot of the trash talking and a little physical play of their own.
Well, it would be nice if we got the call here. The call is not for me.
Detroit, number 10, Dennis Rodman.
Basket counts, double technical, loose ball foul on Dennis Rodman.
Detroit, number 10, Dennis Rodman. Chicago, 32, Will.
That'll be Rodman's 4th personal foul.
That's a tough technical on Purdue, because Purdue never even got a chance to get in a lick.
Yeah, if you're going to get a technical, at least get something for it, right? They may not have called it anyway. Bulls by 14. Livingston inside of Purdue. He's hammered. Rodman tries to take off his head. As Laimbeer caught the foul.
I'll tell you, the young man is really working hard. The people are giving a standing ovation right now to Will Purdue. Chicago doing a nice job versus this trap. They're getting the ball into the middle of the floor. Watch Cliff make that down pass, and he beats Lambier. Now he gets hit again, and now the good pump fake, strong move.
That foul was on Lambier, his 5th.
Now look at Cliff Livingston here now. He's so happy. This unit has been devastating in the first 2 games. They have done an outstanding job.
And considering when Will Perdue came into this league, there were a lot of people that questioned his intensity. That is not in question tonight.
Like we said earlier, he and Cartwright are making a major contribution to this team.
That was a key in the playoffs, whether they could get a competent backup for Cartwright.
Well, Vinny had no shot that time. He just threw up a prayer. But fortunately, he was hit. He felt that he had the 2 guys on top of him.
Foul was on Perdue. That is his 4th personal foul.
Still a long way to go here. We have 8 minutes. Up until now, Detroit has tried 3/4 court pressure and now half-court pressure. They just cannot get Chicago to turn the ball over. They are doing a splendid job moving it and then getting it into the middle against the pressure and then hurting them down inside.
Vinny Johnson gets them both. He now has 19 points for the ball game, 8 points in this quarter. But the lead is still 14, Hubie.
Whatever you do tonight, please do not walk out in the painted area. You don't get your bell rung.
You go up in the Oaks, you're going to get cold caught. Jordan on Dumars. The spin, the turn. Thomas over the back of Livingston. And then Jordan with the big defensive play, and then the foul on Vinny Johnson, but he had to do that because Jordan had the breakaway.
Now, it's the penalty situation. That's what we say. Anytime you're on the road and you're playing with 7-8 minutes to go and the opposition, the home team, shooting the penalty, you are in deep trouble, especially if they will play unselfish, move the basketball around, and then take advantage of your fatigue as they run that clock down.
Pistons 16 of 21 from the line. Chicago 21 of 28.
You know, this year, Michael wins the scoring title with only 31 points a game, but he shot the highest percentage ever this year for himself, 54, and also his highest foul shooting for the year. For his career at 85.
And he still says the year of 88-89 was his best year ever as Jordan gets them both.
Well, you know, he still scores 31 and he only played 37 minutes a game.
26 points, 7 assists tonight. He had 22 in game 1. Vinny to pull up over Pippen and he nails it.
Yeah, this is the 3rd guy this quarter on Vinny. All right, first of all, Hodges, then they went to Michael, and now they have Pippen playing him.
Well, after that 16 first quarter points, Joe Dumars has come back with only 3 since then. Jordan, the hang, doesn't get it, but he goes hard to the floor.
It's nice to play open floor basketball and then clear out when you can throw the ball. Michael Point.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they have another guy that if you go double Jordan and they throw it to Pippen, he can beat any of the Detroit guys one-on-one off the dribble.
Jordan perfect from the line. And he remains that. Jordan's numbers for 90 and 91 the playoffs. He accounted for 33% of the offense last year. This year, 29%, 28 during the regular season.
Well, they're definitely getting more out of their offense. It's a continuity, what we call triangle basketball on one side, swinging it to the other, and then they have cutters coming from the other side. It was used in the NBA to win a championship for Milwaukee by Larry Costello and also at Portland by Jack Ramsey.
Jordan 19 in this half is Vinny Johnson, the only offensive weapon the Pistons have here in the second half. Aguirre remains on the bench. Isaiah only with 5 or 6 here in the second half. Jordan hangs, doesn't get it.
See, that's that guard around. They had the triangle on the right. They reversed it back. They hit the flashing center coming up, and they run Jordan on a guard around. He has the entire side to work you if he did not have to cut to the basket.
There's our score and the time remaining.
right into here. There's your flash post. Here comes Michael on a guard around. Now, what's the advantage of this offense? Well, they do not call out any plays, any numbers. What they do is, wherever the ball is passed, it dictates options that are run, and it puts a lot of pressure on a defensive team to react.
The offense isn't so much for Michael Jordan as it is to get the rest of the players involved.
That's right. Some nights you can take away certain, parts of the offense. But then again, anytime that you want Michael to get a shot, you go 1-4, or you go to an open court, like we've also seen this quarter.
Jordan 6 of 7, now 7 of 8 from the line. He has 29 points.
See Pippen making Vinnie Johnson work hard now, all over the floor.
Johnson has hit 8 of his last 9 shots, and it's the last 10 Piston points, making 8 of 10. Livingston,
nice
Jordan.
Pass.
Hello! Oh, it almost went down.
Michael, listen, almost had it. I mean, that's right. That ball, he threw that one up almost from behind his back.
I really think he believed he should have made it.
That was a great pass by Cliff Livingston, a block by Pippen. Now just look at this pass. Now watch how he takes it up. Now it's a beautiful pass. As he gets fouled, he brings it behind, and he just flips it up on the glass. Almost got the curl.
I love it. He is now 8 of 9 from the line. And even 30 points for Michael Jordan, that is his playoff average. Trying to become the first person since back in 1971 to win the scoring title and an NBA championship. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the Milwaukee Bucks, the last to accomplish the feat.
And before that, George Mikan going way back, and Joe Fultz going way back.
Thomas goes to the double team. The soft touch won't go. Tree Rollins back in the lineup. Thomas hustling up into the crowd.
Isaiah really put on the afterburners there. He was determined to break them down and get inside. But this has been a very frustrating evening for Detroit. James Edwards has hardly played at all. Now, is it a flare-up of his lower back? That's possibly, because we didn't get any notice. But then again, we did not see him get injured.
Livingston, his shot is blocked. He also has a twisted ankle. And Tree Rollins and Cliff Livingston, who were teammates in Atlanta, share a little thoughts. Rollins at 5.
Well, I say Tree's been a major shot blocker in this league for 14 years. It's a real solid move that time by Cliff. And Cliff telling Tree some stuff, throwing a little trash there, back and forth. Old ex-teammates down there in the Atlanta area. Now, Cliff Livingston is definitely coming to life at playoff time, and it's the right time for him. That's why you go out and you get a player like this, hoping that he would come in and play this style of basketball for you over the regular season. Now, the guy that has suffered in this equation, naturally, is Stacey King, out of Oklahoma, whose time has just been cut all the way down to only 9 minutes a game. And even then, he's only played in 8 of the games. But Cliff deserves the time because he's playing very, very hard and getting the big results.
King didn't even play in game 1. Fourth quarter points, Detroit 6 of 6, Chicago 12 of 14. And the Bulls have taken 8 more shots. Pistons starters in the second half, only 11 points, 25 in the first for 36. But add 3 to that as Joe Dumars hits. His second 3.
Well, Joe's been on fire from the three-point line in the playoffs. That makes him 17 for 36.
95-80. The clock working against the Pistons. Shot by B.J. Armstrong, running to the right. Nails it.
Well, they just cannot get any closer. Right? It's been all through that first half. They just continue to stay hot from the perimeter.
Biggest lead for Chicago was 18 just a moment ago. And while Aguirre is waiting out there, the clock ticks away, and Livingston slaps it away. Ball is still loose, and we have a whistle. So Cliff Livingston with his first block of the playoffs.
Chicago is a speed type of a defense, and they get you with their quickness. They try to lock the ball away from you, but also they have become in this series, an excellent shot blocking team. 9 in game 1 and 4 already this evening.
Vinny Johnson, Paxson takes a swipe at him, and Vinny's still able to drain it.
Well, Vinny wants the foul. And you're going to get a delay of game here right now on Detroit, knocking the ball away from Chicago. Vinny feels that he's been popped on a number of these when he's shooting the ball into the face of the smaller guard.
Vinny 10 of 16 now. He has 25 points. He leads the Pistons in scoring. Dumars at 24. Pippen. Shot clock at 7. Backing in. Johnson takes a swipe at it. Shot clock at 3, but the ball belongs to Detroit. With 4:42 showing on the game clock, the Bulls lead it by 15.
Good defense by Vinny. Going for the dribble. A high dribble that time by Scottie Pippen.
Showboat pass to Dumars. Almost steps over. Fans wanted it, but he was well away from it. Shot for 3 is blocked by Armstrong. To Rollins. Tips it to Pippen. Here it comes. Watch this. Oh, he gives it up to B.J. Armstrong.
Detroit frustrated. Not one player was over half court by the time he laid that up. They all stayed back in the lane.
That is not the kind of play that won them 2 NBA championships. Offensive foul on Dumars. When it rains, it pours.
Well, they've just been tenacious the entire evening. Causing the turnovers, getting the blocks.
16th Detroit turnover. They're averaging only 10 per game for the playoffs. And Gerald Henderson will come in for the Pistons.
Well, you take the 16 turnovers, add the 6 blocks. That's 22 times you're getting nothing.
Paxson can't get it to go. Aguirre, good position on Livingston. He'll take it himself. To the hole, the right hand goes in.
Well, Detroit must regroup for game 3. They have 3 days off. They've got to regroup, get their offense back in sync, work against their tough half-court defense. But then they're going to have to say, how are we going to stop Chicago? Because Chicago has been doing an excellent job in this building in games 1 and 2, getting what they want.
Livingston, as the shot clock goes off, Purdue wanted the foul. Game 3 will be Saturday as Aguirre is fouled on a play. Chuck Daly said they have not had a day off in 3.5 days, and he usually leads the league in giving his players days off.
About 3.5 weeks is a long time to be occupied, you know, playing and traveling, and especially the series were tough for them with Atlanta and then Boston. But everyone must step back and appreciate the defense of Chicago. They are not allowing you to do what you do best. They've taken away the pick and rolls. They've taken away the low post power game.
The round of applause was for that young man, Will Purdue, the third-year player out of Vanderbilt.
Well, Scott Williams, who is in there now, free agent that they picked up out of North Carolina. They like his future. They like his tools. He's an excellent 5th man up front for you at power forward and center because he can play 2 positions.
He's played in 5 of the 9 playoff games. Did not score in game 1, but he did get a couple of minutes. Working on Rollins. Baseline. Turns it over. But the Bulls lead it by 13. 2:45 left. That has been the offense right there, number 15. Aguirre for 3, doesn't get it. Rebound, tip. Who does it belong to? Detroit. And they're going to decide it will belong to Detroit, and they call it timeout. 2:37 left to be played. The Bulls 99, the Pistons 86. Here's tonight's Dutch boy in the paint.
Now that just backs up what we've been talking about all night. Chicago on the offensive glass 13 times. Now look at the front court scoring. You cannot win at playoff time in this league if you have no inside game, because you do not get second shot opportunities and you also do not get to the foul line. Chicago, outstanding job.
Right now, Detroit will only put 2 players really capable of scoring on the floor with Vinny Johnson and Mark Aguirre, because Dennis Rodman this evening only 2 points, those coming in the second half. Gerald Henderson is checked in. Rollins also in. The Chicago counters with Paxson, Williams, Pippen, Jordan, and Livingston.
Well, out there now you have two good three-point shooters. You have Henderson as well as Mark Aguirre.
Vinny Johnson, Jordan lets him shoot it, then he takes it. Johnson now at 27. He is 11 of 17 from the floor.
Once Vinny has broken the foul line tonight, he's just been unstoppable.
16 this period. Williams up high. Paxson. Rollins comes out on him. Henderson's on Williams. Now they make the switch. Off the leg of Michael Jordan. It belongs to Detroit with 2:06 left, trailing by just 11.
Quick hands that time by Vinny Johnson. Now, I'll tell you what, they catch a three here right now. You're right back in the game, and you still have 2 minutes to go.
Henderson is 7 of 21 during the regular season from three-point land. We get a foul.
Now, you get a call there. The building erupted because they thought they had Aguirre in an offensive foul. Aguirre makes both of these shots. You're only down 9, and you have 1 minute and 58 seconds to go. That's a lifetime in this league. But once again, you've got to get it done defensively. Now, they're bringing Dumars back in here now, and he's coming for Gerald Henderson. Chuck, now, you have your three-point shooters out there, Dumars and Aguirre. Vinny sporadically from 3, but he's doing an excellent job in the mid-range game.
Detroit now 8 straight points. They've cut the lead to 9 inside of 2 minutes.
Now, you must force Chicago to miss without fouling, hold them to 1 shot, and then do something with the basketball at the other end of the floor.
Livingston, Aguirre going at it. Paxson for 3, doesn't get it. Tipped by Jordan, won't go down. Ball belongs to Detroit. No, they're going to say jump.
Dumars is down on the floor. Now he's down on his back. He took a shot in. It looked like he got it in the abdomen area. Now he was in the melee that went up that time. Now they're calling a 20-second timeout, but he just flew out of the pack.
Well, Darryl Garrison, underneath the play, called the ball belonging to Detroit. Steve Jabby, who was out away from the play, said it belongs to Chicago, so they're going to jump it up.
Now let's see what happens here as they come down. Now, there's Dumars right there. I mean, I don't know. That was just accidental, and it happened in traffic. There were no deliberate elbows or anyone banging anyone. He just got hit, in the abdomen area. He lost his breath.
And now Chuck Daly taking this opportunity to let Danny Crawford know something.
What you're trying for right here is you're saying, look, why didn't we get a loose ball foul?
Right.
We get a loose ball foul here right now. We would have had 2 shot opportunities and possibly would have been 7. That's all. He's just trying to get in a shot there.
Each team 3 timeouts, no 20s. We have 1:39 left to be played, a 9-point Bulls lead. It'll be Jordan jumping up with Rodman. Detroit 8 straight points. Livingston loses the handle. Aguirre has it to Dumars.
You come down now and you get a 2 or 3. You are in excellent shape.
So Dumars, the running right-hander, will go. Rodman can't keep it alive. Pippen's got it. 10 rebounds now for him.
Be smart now. Take your time and run precious time off the clock.
Dumars on Jordan. Has to give it up to Pippen. Wide open. Doesn't get it. Rebound. Livingston can't keep it alive. Johnson has it.
Got to give it up the floor, Vinny.
9 points. Bulls lead. They've led by as many as 18. Rodman for 3. He's got it. Oh, my goodness. Rodman was 1 of 4 in the playoffs. And he makes it a 6-point lead. 3 timeouts remaining for each team.
All right, now, you're 6. Oh.
Shot clock at 10.
Thinking, bad. See, you go for the foul that time. They're going to put Williams on the foul line. He has not made it, had a shot chance in this ball game.
He is.
He's not a bad foul shooter. He's about a 72% foul shooter. Here's Rodman taking a 3.
Williams' first appearance at the line in the playoffs, makes the first.
See, they can talk all they want tonight, Detroit. You got to give Chicago their due. They have played an outstanding game.
Williams doesn't get the second. Rollins had it, but we've got.
I tell you, he might. He's giving the ball to Detroit. I think they might have been a loose ball.
Right, I thought so too. 36 seconds left to be played. It is a 7-point Chicago lead. We will be back. To go in the fourth period, Chicago led by 17, but the Bulls have been outscored 11-1 by Detroit in that fifth time.
Now this is key. Detroit has 2 timeouts. If Detroit, now you would say, well, they got to take a 3. You don't have to. If you can get the quick score here right now, within 3 to 4 seconds, put on your full court trap, and then either go for the steal. If you don't get it, foul quickly, because you still have 2 timeouts to use. Now, what happens is that if you go for the 3 and you miss it, well, then it's almost all over, okay? But if you score with a quick 2, if you go quickly, see, they're taking a little bit too much time.
Rodman for 3, forces it up, doesn't get it. Williams with the rebound. He comes out of the pack with it. Jordan will be fouled by Dumars.
See, now when you foul, the game can go from 7 to 9. If you would have scored the quick 2, you would have it down to 5. All right, you still would have had over 30-some-odd seconds. Once you have over 30-some-odd seconds to go, you put on your full court trap, forcing this coach in your picture to either call a timeout or what. It doesn't matter, because what you can do is still deny, and if you don't get the steal wherever they take the ball inbounds, you have the chance to foul quickly, and you're working your timeouts as well as the clock and forcing them to make foul shots. This way, you're still at 7, and he's going to the line shooting 2.
Joe Dumars is fouled out with 24 points, 5 assists. Michael Jordan, 10 of 11 from the line. He has 32 points, and Chuck Daly now will find himself down 2 games to none, and only 7 teams have been able to come back from that deficit.
Were we concerned about him at halftime with only 8 and no foul shot attempts and no rebound? I do believe me. Yeah, I made a statement there.
I did too. I did too. We've got a timeout, and Jordan is now talking trash with Aguirre, but Michael has something to say. They lead it by 9. 102-93 is our score. The time remaining.
I'm going to give you a good look at the road record to show you that Chicago has the 2nd-best road record in the league. Only 2 teams from the East had winning records on the road, Chicago and Boston.
Vinnie Johnson goes up for his 29th point of the ball game. From the free throw line, it has been all Chicago again. 31 of 41, Detroit 20 of 25.
Now, what they just did now is what you thought they would have done with 36 seconds on the clock. Go for the quick score, make your foul, pick out the guy you want to foul, go for the steal first, force the guy to make the foul shots. You still would have had 30 seconds to go in the game, and you only would have been down 5, forcing them to make their foul shots.
There we see the 4th quarter free throw. Scott Williams to the line. Just a reminder, immediately following our game, we've got LA and Portland. From Portland, Bob Neal and Doug Collins will have that for you.
Yeah, a good point here is that Phil Jackson has a lot of confidence in these guys who are out on the floor. I mean, he's leaving Williams and, in there with this other group, paying him a solid compliment that, hey, I have a lot of confidence in your ability, and you probably are going to be here in the future.
Bulls lead it by 8, 14.4 left to be played. 8-point Bulls lead. How about the MVP award as Michael Jordan picked up the hardware tonight? The most is Kareem. Michael Jordan has 2 with Magic, Bird, and Malone 3 MVP honors. And tonight it has been Michael Jordan, 33 points, 7 assists. Vinnie Johnson has been the show for Detroit as Gerald Henderson gets in the books. And it is a 6-point margin with 8 seconds left. Detroit out of timeouts. Henderson fouls Jordan with 4.4, and this one will be in the books.
Very nice ball movement by the Bulls. Not allowing you to foul them to stop the clock. 2 passes in the backcourt. They get it up front to the key guy, the guy that you want on the foul line at this time in the ballgame. Now, Phil Jackson has got to be very proud of his team. They did what they set out, win the 2 home games, hold them both nights, under 100 points.
and do an excellent job in dominating what you wanted to do. And that is get to the foul line. They've done that over 30 in each ball game. They've done a terrific job on the offensive board, good passing angles, and he did everything that he set out to do from an offensive standpoint.
Michael Jordan now with 35 points, 27 in the second half, and that will wrap it up from Chicago as the Bulls have taken a 2-0 lead in the best-of-7 Eastern Conference Final Series over the Pistons. The final, once again, Chicago 105, Detroit 97. We'll be back. Score, Chicago Bulls win it, the final 105-97.